we never spoke to wavy hair until 6 months back, to be very honest
Oh.
with you. Wavy hair requires probably just one leave-in conditioner or a more milky textured product. So we launched specifically for your hair type very recently. But prior to
Mhm.
that, we've been focusing on curly hair by introducing 5-step routines. And that's how we simplify it. Every step is labeled and you know what to use one after the other. So there's no confusion. So as long as you buy from us, it's a step by step routine. If you buy from someone else, maybe it's confusing, but we make sure that you know every step is in order and you use it in that way and you will get a result after the first use. There's no way that you can't. I
Mhm.
think teaching people that their hair can look really good, curly and wavy is more important, honestly, than teaching them about product, because the reality is we don't keep them natural due to insecurities around our hair
Mhm.
and because of what the media has taught us good hair looks like, which is straight.
Yeah,
So
that is true.
I think changing that belief over the last 7 years has been more important than selling them more product, which is why we've sold very little product. We only have 18 SKUs, like, and this is our 7th year. So we haven't launched more. We've had to focus a lot more on education and just showing them that curly hair, wavy hair is also beautiful, and you don't have to keep them straight. So I think for us, that once that was sort of simplified, you honestly just need to include one product and start leaving it in your hair, and we've seen people
Mhm.
make it makes a huge difference, but it doesn't have to be complicated. Just one curl cream or a singular leave-in conditioner can also completely change the game for your hair.
See, I think it's each to its own, because, of
Mhm.
course, the pressure is there. You always have this feeling that you have not done enough or you're not doing things right because of
Mhm.
social media which I will say we were lucky it wasn't there. We knew that companies are doing well, but exactly what they are doing was not, available to us. That information was not there. So too much information is sometimes put a lot of mental pressure on you, but I think a slow and steady growth is very important to each and every brand, not only in beauty, but it's always in all BPC. I think category has to think about slow and steady growth. Uh, I always have spoken about this so many times that India is a huge country, right? And you should
Right.
start regionalizing it. Start from your own region and then try to expand. If you want to be everywhere and you're doing everything, you will get lost, because the times have changed so much. It is not that cheaper, to go to do meta ads and performance marketing. It's not like before. It has changed.
Mhm.
So you have to go slow and steady. Try to build trust in your people about your product. That's so important.
I mean, I think that going slow is fine. I think I'll keep it short. I agree with her. So I mean, I think that for us, yes, if we wanted, we could definitely stay digital for a really long time, especially because of quick commerce. At
Mhm.
this point, quick commerce is the same thing as walking to a shop and buying it. It's coming to your house in 10 minutes. It takes the same amount of time. So, and it is just as painful as paying for a small amount of shelf space, because you need to make sure that the rotation of that inventory is really, really fast, right?
Mhm.
So I think the rules are very similar. What you're paying is also very similar to be have that presence. So I think because of quick com, maybe we can stay online, but
Mhm.
I do think it's very different for Fixderma because their playbook is
Very
not
different.
digital. So
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'll just explain you a bit about it. So we are a brand which caters to age group of 5-year-old to 85-year-old. So
Mhm.
we are in that age group. So not everybody is online for us. They are also offline, and stay to tier two, tier three, and tier four penetration uh, of internet, and of course quick com is still not there. But definitely we can see a quick growth in quick commerce because it's ease of buying. uh, just from your bedroom you can order, and the product is in your house in 10-15 minutes. So it's a
Mhm.
huge shift, actually, I'll say. But people are still visiting kirana stores and modern trade and general trade. That's still happening in India, because I just said, India is a huge market. So
Right.
still the internet present penetration is there. When we started, it was around 5 to 6%. I think even less than that. Then it moved to 10 to 12%, and still we are in two digits, like 20, less than 20%. So I
Okay.
think we still have that scope of offline and online. And I just told you that we also started our through a dermatologist channel. So we cannot,
Hmm.
we cannot be a totally digital space. Not possible for us.
So,
Yeah, not from Anshita, because she's of course a new age founder. So
hmm,
I'll always go for some advice to her, like what we are doing right and what we are doing wrong, and she always um, explains us that this is the
hmm,
approach you should take. So
hmm,
we talk a lot. It's all of us are in building business. Even my
hmm,
son has working for a fund. So we always talk about business at home. So we always take some cues from each other, and they all are, adding value to what we are doing.
I think I learn a lot of team building and stuff from her because her team is significantly larger than mine. I think it's like 20x of my team. So
hmm,
I think managing people, hiring, who you should ideally have versus not have. Initially, I learned all of the basics from her because I had no idea who should be on your team. Even from a more traditional long term perspective, I didn't really know because my focus was like, a graphic designer is was very important for me because we were an online first brand. So the first thing you
yes.
see is a graphic from us, right? So
Hmm,
I think the back end ops, supply chain, logistics, I've learned a lot on who should be on your side, like
hmm,
from her. So I think they have almost like 900 employees
Right.
and we have 40. So I think you can see like there's a lot to learn from that perspective.
I think yes, because she has been, watching me building the business since she was a kid. So
hmm,
she and it. I think unknowingly, knowingly, you are, like listening to whatever I'm talking about and my daily routine and everything. I think, of course, she has taken some idea.
Pretty much on the first 3 to 6 months of launching the brand, I realized that what they're selling is very different, and what I was selling, I feel always anyway was overshadowed by the rest of the personal care industry. So why
hmm,
again should it be under an umbrella of a already very large brand? So for
hmm,
I felt that our products would just be one subcat. But I feel it is a full category of its own that deserves spotlight and attention. And also,
hmm,
curly hair is used to be so niche that it really required its own specialized communication. So I don't
hmm,
think that we could be talking about sunscreen today and on the same page be talking about how to style your curly hair. I just
right.
feel they were so far apart from each other that it didn't make any sense to me.
Hmm,
And also, I wanted to run the brand very differently. I also didn't, I mean, I think I just knew from the beginning that I would love to take this on as a very personal project to see where it
hmm, hmm,
goes. Plus, at that point already, Fixderma was very large, and they had a lot of verticals to focus on. So I felt
hmm,
like I would have to build my own team that was more digitally focused because, again, that was the only way I could get the word out about curly hair without spending a lot of money. There was no other way. So I think it just made sense, but it was pretty much decided in 2020 itself that I'll open my own company. And that's what we did then that year.
Yeah, actually, she was very independent from the beginning. There was no interference from our side, or we never doubted her, to be very honest. From day one, somehow it was. I always had that she'll be able to do it quite well, and I think she's proven it also.